you tired of the typical libraries with conventional music that makes you feel meh? Introducing Leerecs.com, the music website made for and by minds like you. Our team are lifelong musicians and producers in love with music. Search the Leerecs music catalogs and find music with guaranteed originality. Mark the difference with music of signature at Leerecs.com.
Buena idea, idiota. Hay que cubrir la cuota para alcanzar el cupo de gilipollas. No vaya a ser que sospeche la gente para llegar. Amigo, hay que saber dónde va. Hay que pegar más fuerte para perder. Amigo, hay que saberlo llevar.
Isn't that true? This is amazing rock and roll. This song is fantastic in Spanish from Spain, and we have through Jimmy, somebody from right here in New York, Kike from El Señor que te molesta. Yeah.
Here we are.
There you go.
Good night.
Good evening, folks. Good evening, folks in New York.
Good evening, because this is a coffee with
afternoon. This is the coffee time. Exactly. You're right. 100% right, Kike.
We have to tell you something, Antoine, that both of us, we like too much to drink. So here in Madrid, it's the night. We have to confess that true thing. And we're drinking a little bit. Not too much, but a little bit.
A little bit is fine. Okay. This song is wonderful. Really, I really like it. It has like a true rock and roll rhythm to it. Why don't you take the floor and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your band and your music?
Well, I don't know how can we translate or make to the audience to know what means El Señor que te molesta. Maybe Jimmy, can you translate in a cultural way?
Yeah, it's kind of like it's the guy that fucks with you, you know.
Yeah.
It's the guy that just is just fucking with you.
So that's the point of the first step of the trip, that we are here to disturb a little bit, and then we do a kind of punk rock. Based on on have fun and to do it yourself, and that's our way to make a kind of punk rock and roll or garage kind of music. This is like, how can we set what it is El Señor que te molesta?
I think it's 100% right, and what's more punk than that, and rock and roll than that, like being a revel and kind of like disturb a little bit. Why not?
Yeah, and also do it yourself. Nobody is going to do the things for you.
Do it yourself.
And also your things. You have to do what you have to do.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. All right, so what's the relation? Like, how do you get in touch with Jimmy, somebody coming from here, from New York? What's the connection there?
Jimmy is a great person, first thing. And I think that you maybe you can say how you met us in a concert, and what was your first impression about us.
I mean, one thing about El Señor que te molesta, the live show is just electric. The harmonies of the band, the two brothers, the lead singer, Alex, and his brother Diego, I mean, their harmonies are just, as you've probably heard in the song, are just tremendous. And Kike, I always joke around with Kike that he is El Señor que te molesta, because he plays like this. He's playing these cheesy solos, and he's like raising his guitar up over his head, and he's mocking the audience. And really, the first time I saw them, I was like, man, that guy's a fucking asshole, that guy, that guitar player. But in a good sense, like just as Spanish people say, the balls. You know, we would say in English we say breaking balls, but in Spanish it's tocar las pelotas, just breaking balls.
Yeah, and we have the best drummer for that, which is Pedro, which is a very good punk drummer, and he break the ball with his bats.
I mean, I've been living here in Madrid for almost 16 years now. I'm also a musician and an artist here, and my good friend Manu from Delia Records here in Madrid produced these guys, their album. And so, you know, I had seen them once and they just blew me away. And so, you know, I went backstage and I drank a bunch of free beers with them backstage, which I love to do at shows. You know, I'm the foreign guy who speaks Spanish, and I show up and introduce myself and just start drinking beers. So that's really how we met.
In that moment starts a love relation. And I remember what it was the first sentence that Jimmy said to us after the show. And he was saying, I'm from New York, really trust me. I saw Fugazi in his beginnings, and you are like the fucking Fugazi.
Oh, wow. That's
you remember that?
I do.
You agree?
Yeah, I mean, I remember seeing Fugazi play in the $3 shows in Washington D.C. and in the Unitarian Church, you know, near Adams Morgan, I think it was, when I was living there in 1990. Okay. And I mean, those guys, the energy of Fugazi and the energy of El Señor que te molesta live, it's just electric, and it's infectious, you know, and that's the fun part of celebrating and dancing your ass off and having a great time. And these guys just put on such a great show.
So imagine, Antoine, you think after the show you met a crazy New York guy saying that you are like Fugazi. So that's you know, a match. And in that time, it started the love relation with Jimmy. And Jimmy now it's you know, it's like our manager, our you know, our soul. It's everything for us.
Well, these guys have accepted me, and I get to do, you know, I get to do bits. You know, I get to do stupid stuff like be the MC. Like I did these guys set up a show. It was a battle between two record labels, and they constructed a boxing ring in front of the stage, and it was like two different record labels fighting it out in punk rock. You know, like a battle of the bands, Antoine. Nice. And I was the MC for the evening. And it was just a lot of fun. And you know, that's the fun thing of punk rock too, is just, you can just do stupid shit, you know, and if people accept your, you know, the ability and there's trust, they give me carte blanche to do what I want to do. And I'm blessed. And I just love these guys.
Yeah. The thing is that we are soulmates because, you know, Jimmy has a very nice project, which is called Donkey to Monkey. And it's in the same way of as we are now.
Okay.
In that doing yourself, getting joy, and touch the balls, no? Or break the balls.
Breaking people's balls.
So Jimmy, you have a band. What's that? What's the name again?
The band. It's an art collective. It's called Donkey Do Monkey.
Okay.
And it's you know,
it's a fucking great thing.
I mean, it's me and then 3 other friends of mine from Madrid, and it's basically like a studio project. We record, you know, I record at home on GarageBand, and then I send the tracks to Manu and David, and they add tracks or change the drum tracks. We put in samples, and then, you know, I was very anti-Instagram for many years, and then this project is there's no faces. It's all old photos from the Depression, and there's a lot of anyways, the Instagram presence is very acidic, but it's all images. It's images from the Depression. It's images. It's old videos from the Library of Congress, and then funny shit. But there's no faces. There's no person, and it's kind of this very irreverent project.
Yeah, it's like the same thing of El Señor que te molesta. There is no face project. There is not a monsieur or a mister who interrupts you or who breaks your balls. Huh? We are just people doing things and enjoying doing things and breaking doing things.
Sounds really fantastic. Actually, I'm just, you know, typing you a message right at this moment.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, this is incredible story. I love it. Fugazi, going back to that bold statement, just as they met you or you met them, and you knew in the moment, these guys are good. And this is the impression that I actually got when I'm listening to this song. It's really emphatic but at the same time you're like, hold on, these guys can play. They know what they're doing.
No, wait a minute, Antoine. The crazy thing is that a punk band of Madrid, we are talking now to New York City for a radio cast, which is a very nice thing for us, and we are so glad. And that's one of the best things of the El Señor que te molesta doing things, that we can share and we can offer things to connect people and just here having a coffee with you, a coffee beer with you at this afternoon night.
Afternoon night, yeah. It's I think it's just about the right translation for Spain.
Yeah, the cultural meanings of
right. Actually, I think, go ahead, Jimmy.
Yeah.
No, I was going to say one of the other things. I mean, in Madrid here, this rock garage, I would say garage rock punk scene, and really it's kind of a small community. And the cool thing is that the places you're going to see El Señor que te molesta are small. There's a kind of like a family atmosphere, and I mean we're next to one place called the Fun House, which is a small little garage place for rock and roll bands. And the atmosphere in there is just so fantastic, so familiar. I mean, family. Sorry, I'm speaking Spanish, English. It's more that family sense. You see the same people, but in a good way. It's not like you're, oh man, it's the same fucking crew again for the show. And that's these guys. They have a very, very strong following, and because you're also in a small space, and so the energy is really intense.
Yeah, that's a good description about how we share the moments and the nights and the shows and the gigs here with our family. Because we're family.
Your family. Look, I think you're 100% right. A lot of causality to opportunity is also being open to it. And the impression that I've gotten from you from the very first moment, this common friend puts us in touch. You've been really open, really easy going to work with. That is helping you create an opportunity. The same way Jimmy approaches you at the end of your show.
Yeah.
Just
have
a drink with you. And that's creating opportunity because you have an open mentality.
That's the way. For us, there is not other way. If we want to get enjoy with this thing, and this is like our part of mental health in the week. We do this thing for having a free time, apart our works, our family, our 2,000 millions of problems in life. Yeah. We need this space to create and to share with people, to have fun and do things, because this is the two mandatories of El Señor que te molesta: do things and enjoy with doing things.
Sounds absolutely right.
And those are the things you do when you were young, and that's a part of the donkey do monkey. One of the things I love about Spain is the surrealism, the Dadaism. It's one of the cradles of Dadaism, and to me, that's the beauty of being absurd. And why don't you tell him, Kike, a little bit about the song about Mel Gibson?
To do with the movie?
Well, we were talking about these guys, El Señor que te molesta. They're getting ready to release a 7-inch single, and the songs.
Yeah, because we do things.
Exactly.
We're musicians.
They get things done.
Certainly, I'm a musician.
And it's the song's about Mel Gibson, and they're shooting a video, and so I thought it would be good for Kike to talk a little bit about
Hey, you pay my gig.
I
saw somebody who has to pay me for a gig.
Oh wow!
Well, we were working several months in a new 7-inch, a new release. we have 4 new songs, and one song is called Mel Gibson tiene que hacer lo que tiene que hacer. Please, Jimmy, can you translate and interpret what is Mel Gibson tiene que hacer lo que tiene que hacer?
Mel Gibson has to do what he has to do.
Right? That makes sense to you and to the audience?
I think it does, but it could mean a lot of things. What? I guess that's the fun. That's the fun of it. What's your intention with that? Like, what's the song about?
Breaking balls, touching the balls, the same thing of always. To confuse the mass of the little mass that we can have to involve in this thing. No, it's a new song that we prepare with lots of love and slow cook and many kind of Spanish products and with natural growing, but with the essential thing of Mel Gibson. It's one of the cultural reference for us. Yes, and we make a very short song, about 1 minute and 30, but it's very high intensity song. It will be released in a 7-inch and also in a video clip that we are shooting and editing now. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. I mean, that sounds a lot of fun. Really, really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
it's a new song. The song that we hear previously, it's Buena Idea Idiota.
All right. Sounds good. Wonderful. Okay. All right. So let's continue and ask you, if you could describe your perfect future for your music, what do you think that'd be?
As one of our idols said, the future is unwritten. So we are going to write the future.
Okay. So how would you write it?
Having gigs, nights, work, creativity, intense, powerful moments, and connections with the whole world. Because I told you previously that it's a crazy thing for us, having a coffee with New York in distance by a call. So the future, we are writing the future. The future is now, not later. The future is doing things with all or each one that who likes to do things with us.
Wonderful, wonderful. That open mentality we were talking about, that is, providing you opportunities. Excellent. So just to finish, putting the, a nice cap to this idea.
Yeah.
If you can advise for your younger self, what do you think that'd be?
Wow. It's complicated because I have to confess something, that I am a father. So now I'm in the things I do. Part of El Señor que te molesta is to being a teacher as a worker and also a father at my home. So, what can I say? It's like the future. We have to write it. We have to experiment. We have to do it. It's nothing more or less important than doing things, sharing things, and experimenting with things. And also in that way, to fall down, to have mistakes and retry again and experimenting again.
Excellent. That's a very good advice. Keep trying even if you fall down. Wonderful.
Yeah, that's for sure. And do it yourself also.
Do it yourself. All right. Well, thank you both, Kike and Jimmy. I appreciate your time and your music. El Señor que te molesta. This is Buena Idea Idiota. All the best. We're going to enjoy a little bit more of your music. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time and all the best. Till the next one.
Thank you very much to you, Antoine, and to your audience in the US and in the whole world. Send a big huge to everyone in the city, like Crocodile and Andy, because when we are going to take a gig, we are carrying Jimmy to that gig. We are going to salute all the people in New York.
Wonderful. Okay. Till the next one.
of the typical libraries with conventional music that makes you feel meh. Introducing Leerecs.com, the music website made for and by minds like you. Our team are lifelong musicians and producers in love with music. Search the Leerecs music catalogs and find music with guaranteed originality. Mark the difference with music of signature at Leerecs.com.